Well, why don't I explain how we do it?
Sure.
Sharing with you again here. We wanted to, I mean, when we started Pop Price Guide, it actually started by a guy called John Hamm, who then joined us. It was easy. There was only eBay, and there was nothing else. I don't know if you were around at the time. And eBay gave us all the data, and we had everything, and it was simple. And then other sites came along. I'm not quite sure who was first. StockX, Mercari, whatnot. Facebook became the place to trade. So, and what we wanted to do is we wanted to get all those prices. So we now support 84 different price points. You can see them here. Wow. It's anything from the retail price. The retail price is really the starting point, right? If it's a $15 item or a $10 item, that's kind of the starting point. That's what you pay for it, hopefully, when you get it at the time you get it. We then have external price guides. We have about 60, 70 auction houses now. Some of them give us the data automatic, like Pristine Auctions, which is important for autographed Funko Pops. eBay, our own marketplace, Mercari, StockX, whatnot, Yahoo. We have some retailers like 7Pups a Pop. We also have team verified, and I'll explain what that means in a second. And then the only thing that we don't use is Craigslist, Facebook, Amazon. And the reason why we don't use those is because you can't verify it. What I mean by verifying, there's no URL which you can click on and see if something really sold. So if somebody said they sold on Facebook for $60, you kind of have to just believe them. And
you can manipulate that easily.
So that can be easily faked, and therefore that only counts if it goes through what we call team verified. So team verified is here. This is a good example. This is a 12 run Freddy Funko. So it's a highly valuable item. You can see we have it for $39,000, and the only ever public transaction was this eBay sale in 2016 for $3,500. This team verified is. So if you see this one here, this is a $30,000 transaction. If you click on it, if you click on the image here, it will show you that we got all that documentation. So what we do is there's a team of 15 volunteers, and they have their own forum, and basically somebody proposes this price point. He says he knows the seller, he knows the buyer. We then talk to the seller and buyer. We get all the documentation, same thing here. So we get all the documentation, they look at it, they vote on it, and there may be questions back and forth. And if it's team verified, then it gets added here. Now, for obvious reasons, we don't show people's email address or bank accounts or anything like that, but we have seen it. So all of that's documented, and that's why we have these type of transactions now that we wouldn't have otherwise, because anything over $10,000 tends to be done privately.
Yeah, or at a show.
So that's team verified. Another thing we just brought in is, as you know, on the 27th of I think March, Mercari changed the way they price. It used to be normal, so the seller would pay a fee. Now the buyer pays that fee. It's 10% plus 3%. So that makes a difference. So we had to change our system, and now any price point that comes in through Mercari that's before that date, here's one, you can see now it includes the 30% buyer's fee. So we add that to the price. Because what we're really trying to do is saying, how much would you be willing to buy this item for? And the buyer's fee is obviously part. I mean, you might forget it the first time you buy something in Mercari, but definitely the second time you remember that you have to pay that. So it's part and parcel of what you value. And on our blog, we often share our thoughts. So this is something we just posted. Should shipping be included in a price point? Gets asked all the time. and we say no, and we explain the reasons why. Because it depends what the person is. It's too hard for a seller then to take into account, and so on and so forth. But we have a huge amount of documentation on everything we do. So if you have any question on the price guide, this is our documentation, the knowledge base, and you can see exactly how we do stuff. So for example, how do we add price points from Whatnot? Whatnot is one of those disputed price points. There's a lot happening there. There's also, and there's difference if an item gets put up as a 99 cents or $1 starting auction versus a fixed price. That's different. What's also different is some sellers, like Savage Pop, have hundreds of people in the room, and you get a decent price for your item. Other sellers might not, and therefore we may not take their price point. So we constantly experiments and trial how we should add these price points so that they are the best reflection of value at the time. For example, or Whatnot, we currently, I think, accept sales from 5 different vendors where we believe there's enough liquidity in the room.
Okay.
So we're not accepting every Whatnot price, but those. StockX is different there. We accept everything. eBay, we got a list of about 160 blacklisted sellers that we think sell fakes or manipulate prices. So those we don't. And we have 2,600 volunteers now. There's a constant discussion on how do we do these kinds of things. And for example, if one of the volunteers believes that an eBay vendor sells fakes, then they can propose them for deletion. Then somebody else has to second it, and then we have a vote on it. So there's a lot of processes that go in the background that trying to make sure that the pricing is as good as possible.